if you are finding it hard to make friendships and real connections, now that you're empty nest, retired, or, 50s, 60s, and 70s, you're not alone. You're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that the rules to friendship have somewhat shifted since we were younger, and it didn't really announce itself, right? Like, we have to sort of decipher it. We have, in general, let me just propose something to you. We, meaning, as you're approaching 60s, 70s, whatever, as I am, uh, we have gotten a little bit lazy in our friendship building skills to a certain degree. And let me explain. In life, now think back to your 20s, 30s, and 40s where you're working and you have your kids and school activities with the kids and sports activities with the kids. Our movement through life at work or with kids or at school or whatever brought us into close proximity frequently with the same people, right? There's the same large handful of people at work that we naturally are just rubbing shoulders with every single day, exchanging conversation with, sitting in the lunchroom with, going out to lunch with. Same for school. The other moms that we're, doing the Valentine's party with for the kids, or assisting at the track meet with as the kids get older into high school, or going on road trips with, as I did to state with my daughter. So proud of her. Always got to work something like that in. Uh, we're rubbing shoulders with other adults with similar interests and at least a few shared commonalities all the time. And that allows us, that's kind of like the entry card to a friendship. It's just the proximity and the shared endeavors and goals that we have right then. And it just leads naturally, usually, into friendships. And some of those friendships stick. I have been so lucky to have a group of friends that I developed. My daughter went to the same school since she was in first grade, all the way through her senior year. And I would say I have about 4 or 5 really good girlfriends from that, and I know they're gonna be my friends forever, and I feel so blessed and fortunate, but I didn't have to work hard to develop those because I had 12 years of, interactions with them, and we just slowly got to know each other. But right now in my life, and probably your life too, with our kids grown and, being retired or semi-retired, in my case, uh, the opportunity to naturally rub shoulders with other people without pressure, social pressure or anything is pretty slim. So the rules have changed at our age in making connections and friendships. And how does one do that? How does one do that then at our age if we're finding a little bit of gap in our social life? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I think that it isn't hard to make friends at our age. It's just we need to exercise our friendship muscles a little bit, our social skills muscles a little bit. Of course, we always hear get involved in a hobby or an activity, pickleball, a book club, a small group at church, volunteer at the local animal shelter. Like those kind of things would sort of approximate what we experienced throughout our adulthood, where proximity and shared values leads to a natural friendship, and those are all great. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a great way to start developing friendships that are a little bit more like organic and comfortable, because we're just used to that process. But also, and this is an important thing to consider, is don't put self-limiting thoughts out there where when I work with older people, related to my age, honestly, who are struggling with their social life and wanting and feeling lonely and wanting more connection, one of the things that I see as the most limiting is their own self-talk. Things that I hear are, well, they probably already have their friends and social circles. They probably don't have any more room in their life for, an extra person. Or what do I have to offer? Or sometimes they've been hurt in friendships and they say, what are they trying to kind of get from me? Or do they really like me for me? There's so many self-limiting thoughts that are going through our heads as we are approaching other adults in our lives and thinking about like forming friendships and stuff. So that would be where I would start is looking at your self-talk and making sure that you're not tripping yourself up before you even get started. Most people are open to friendships if they're done gradually and slowly with familiarity woven in. I'm thinking of one particular situation. We have a river near our house, and there's some benches along the way and lots of walkers that go along walking their dogs or just, for exercise. And I have the habit of going out more evenings than not and sitting and just watching the river and, the geese and various boating activities. And it's just a relaxing way to spend an evening or at least a little bit of time in the evening. And there's one lady in particular who walks her dog by, and we just sort of struck up a conversation, first me admiring her dog and then us talking a little bit here or there. And I would say more times than not when I'm out there, she comes by and we've actually stopped and, gradually got into about a 5-minute conversation. Now she actually sits on the other side of the bench and we talk for quite a while and then off she goes. I know her name, I know her background, I know about her family, and I think we're kind of on the cusp of me saying, "Hey, I really enjoyed our time together. Would you like to get coffee sometime? Or maybe we can go for a walk together." So I'm on the cusp of taking the next step in our friendship, and it's all happened kind of organically, without me taking up a new hobby or purposely seeking it out. It's been a familiar and comfortable process. So why do I say all of this? Well, first of all, loneliness is a real thing as we get older, especially when we don't have proximity to other people, like-minded people, like we did as we were going through our adulthood with our kids and our jobs. So loneliness is a real thing. Address your self-talk. Don't put limitations on yourself. Don't judge yourself or other people or come in with preconceived ideas. And allow yourself to be open and develop familiarity with people during your normal routines. Strike up a conversation with a neighbor. Maybe instead of sitting in your backyard, you sit on your front porch in the evening so that it invites maybe conversations with people coming by, at least the opportunity. Uh, you know, Look for opportunities to start nicking away at the unfamiliarity mountain in front of you so that you become more and more familiar to the people around you. So it can gradually and naturally take its next steps. Of course, picking up hobbies and those kind of things, yes, absolutely. Not only will that enrich your life, but you're going to be side by side with other people who shared those same interests and values. And that's a great start. I do have a neighbor friend, an elderly, I say elderly, he's my age, and I guess I am elderly. But he's a few years older, but he has been on all the dating websites. He's desperately lonely. He's desperately lonely. And I don't know why it's not working out well for him, but and it's not my place because we're not that close to be able to say any kind of advice, but I almost wish he would set aside all of the intense endeavors to find a partner through those dating websites and just pick up a few hobbies and enjoy himself within those environments, being happy and fulfilled within those environments, and the people around him will see that and they'll be drawn to that as opposed to purposely trying to find a partner. He's just like feels like he's just trying to force the situation, and I think it might come across as a little desperate because it's not been that successful for him, and I feel for him. He's a nice guy. But anyway, those are just some thoughts. If as you are getting older, you are struggling with making connections with people around you, I would love to hear about it in the comment sections. If you're not struggling with that, what are some of the tools that you have used to fill up your social calendar and fill up those spots in your heart? We can learn from you. All right, thank you so much for listening, and go enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. Okay, bye bye.